Today I'm going to be ranking every uncommon car in Drive Ahead, starting with the Alien Attack drone. Basically, because it's just a really tiny car and it's pretty horrible. Now, number 35 is the Catterdog. This car just has like really weird tires and really bad protection as well, just because the head goes down and there's no protection in the back. It's really slow and it can't really climb up walls either, so that's why it's really low on this list. Number 34 is the Spiky Car. This car has one of the worst protection in the game. Its head is completely exposed. An advantage is it does have a height advantage over a lot of cars. It's just most of the time that doesn't even matter. Number 33 is the Firework, and that's just because once you tap the screen, it goes straight up into the air. And the thruster is uncontrollable, and also it's just pretty small and has really bad protection, so you can't really do much with it. Number 32 is the Ice Glider. This car is really fast and you can kind of fly into the air with it. It has decent back protection and it kind of has a ramp to its face on the front. The reason it's so low on this list is just because most of the time it's so fast that it flips over and kills itself. Number 31 is the Burger Bike. This car is pretty terrible. It has a thruster, but that does not make the car very fast either way. Its wheels are kind of like bouncy, so you bounce around a lot, and that can lead to your destruction pretty quickly because the head is very exposed. Number 30 is the UFO flying saucer, whatever it's called. This car has some weird like grabber effect on the bottom where it can like pick up objects with its tractor beam, but that also makes it fly really weird in the air. And since it doesn't have great protection, that makes it die pretty quickly. Now, number 29 is the tow truck. This car actually has really good back protection, but the little car it carries around on the back can hit you on the head and kill you, which is like its biggest disadvantage. And it doesn't have great front protection, so overall, it's just not a great car. For number 28, we have Lucky. I don't even get the point of this car, the name of this car, so if someone knows, just put it in the comments. But it has good back protection, but not great front protection, making it really one-sided, and that's why it's so low on this list. Number 27 is the golf cart. This car is pretty small, and it has golf clubs that fly around. The golf clubs can actually kill you, so you gotta be careful of that. This car actually does have really good back protection, though. And the head is pretty well enclosed, but the wheels are close together, makes it tip over really easy. Number 26 is the Snowcat. This car does have the armor trait, I'm pretty sure, but it is really big and slow and can't get up walls well. It can like move other cars out of the way just because of how powerful it is, and it does have pretty good back protection, but it's just not a great car overall. Number 25 is the Tripod. This car actually has really good protection. It's really hard to hit. It does have one wheel on the base, which makes it kind of unstable, but it's actually pretty fast, and it can get out of most situations unharmed, which is why it's about medium on this list. Number 24 is the Penguin Prisoner. This car has an exposed head, but it's really fast, and it also has the winter tires trait. So it goes faster on icy maps. Yeah, that's really nothing more to this car. It's just fast and it has bad protection. Number 23 is the Car Carrier. This car has really good back protection and just not great front protection. It drops two little go-karts that can kind of get in the way of other cars, but it can't get up walls very well, which is why it's medium on this list. Number 22 is the Cattle Truck. This car is kind of just an average car. It has a cow that comes out of the back, but I'm pretty sure the cow can kill you, so it's kind of a disadvantage. It's a longer car, which gives it more stability, and doesn't have great front protection, but good back protection, like every other car on this list. For number 21, we have Rickshaw. So this is basically just like Golf Cart 2.0. It's the same as Golf Cart, just has a little bit better back protection, and it's a little bit bigger. The speed is about the same, which is why it's this high. For number 20, we have Hog. This is basically just like a motorcycle car, and it has a pretty powerful thruster. It doesn't have great protection, but you can usually just thrust your way around the map and take out a lot of enemies with it. For number 19, we have the Velociraptor. This car is pretty good all-around protection, and it's one of the faster dinosaur cars. Its one disadvantage is that it's kind of a smaller car, and more than half the cars in the game have a height advantage over it, which can be really unlucky in a lot of fights. Number 18 is the Snow Coach. This car doesn't seem like it would be that good, but for some reason it's pretty good in mass fights like King of the Hill. It has really good back protection and bad front protection, which I'm saying a lot for this list, and it's pretty fast. Number 17 is the pickup truck. This truck has like boxes that fly out of it and can be pretty useful for taking out enemies. Its speed is pretty good, and it has a pretty enclosed head, which makes it pretty good in fights. Number 16 is the skid steer loader. This car has like a little metal arm on the front of it that you can bounce around the map with it, and be really useful for getting under enemies and flipping them. Its head is pretty enclosed, but the wheels are close together, which makes it kind of wobbly. Number 15 is the Chariot. This car has horrible back protection, but really good front protection, and it's also a really fast car, and is pretty good for rushing enemies. Number 14 is the American car. This car is pretty fast, and it's kind of low to the ground, but its head is kind of in the middle, which makes it a little hard to hit. And it can pull a wheelie, so it's really useful for rushing enemies. And since it's a wider car, it has a lot more stability. Number 13 is the Lowrider. This car is a lot like the American car. It's just it has like some weird music effect that makes the front end pop up, so it's really good at pulling a wheelie. It has pretty decent speed and protection too, and it's just basically a really good rusher. Number 12 is the Celestial Teapot. This car actually has really good protection. It's a little wobbly and it has a narrow base since the wheels are so close together, but its protection alone can get it out of most situations, and it has a height advantage over a lot of cars too. Number 11 is the Concrete Truck. This truck is slow, but it has really, really good back protection, and it's high off the ground, which makes it hard to hit from the front too, though it's impossible to hit from the back almost. And basically, it's just its size that makes it this high up on this list, not its speed. Number 10 is the Garbage Truck. This is really similar to the Concrete Truck, so I had trouble seeing which one was better, but I decided on the Garbage Truck because it has a little bit longer of a back and more of an enclosed head. Also, it's a little bit faster, but they both have an ability where they drop something like trash bags or concrete bags. Number 9 is the Hearse. This car's main ability is that it drops a coffin, and when it breaks, a little zombie comes out and gets in the way of other cars' tires. It has really good back protection, and it's really stable because of how long the car is and how spaced out the wheels are. And basically, it's just really good at pulling wheelies and rushing as well. Number 8 is the Limousine. This car is really long. Its head is exposed, but a lot of the time that doesn't even matter because of how tall it is. It has really good front protection, a little bit less back protection, but overall it's just a really hard to kill car. Number 7 is the Moon Rover. This car didn't used to be as good, but now it has a little alien drone that flies around and takes out enemies a lot more than you would think. This car also has really good front protection and speed. Its back protection is kind of questionable, but a lot of the time it's just a little drone that takes the enemies out for you. Number 6 is the Street Sweeper. Now, this might be a surprising choice for some of you, but this car has really good back protection, and the little broom on the front is actually really good for if you pull a wheelie and for some extra reach to get up on top of the enemy's head. It doesn't have great front protection, but if you can pull a wheelie, you should be A-okay. Now, number 5 is the Snow Truck. This car is just massive. It's impossible to hit from the back, and you can pull a wheelie since the cars are kind of wiggly together. It has really good stability. Its speed and wall climbing is not great, but just its pure size is able to take out enemies really easily. Now, number 4 is the Prehistoric Car. This car has square tires, so it makes its movement kind of weird, and its speed could be better, but it has just excellent back protection, and it has kind of a roof over its head, making it really enclosed, and that's why it's so high on this list. Number 3 is the Tractor, which is the second car you ever get in the game. Its back protection isn't great, but its speed and its front protection are, and it also has a really good height advantage over most cars, and you basically just use it as a rusher, and that's why it's number 3. Number 2 is the Timber Lorry. This is actually a really underrated car. It has really good grip for some reason on its tires. I don't even know why. It has really good back protection and it pulls wheelies. It drops some logs at first when you first pull a wheelie. And it's just kind of a weird, fascinating car because it can stay alive for so long. And no reason to explain it because it doesn't look like it'd be that good, but it is. And that brings us to number 1. Now, I can't really pronounce this car's name. I'm just going to call it the Parasaur. But it's a really big car, and it has great protection and super good speed. And it is really, really difficult to get on top of in order to hit it. Very little cars are a good counter to it, which is why it's number 1 on the list.